First off, let's point out the fact that we just had an amazing family meeting.
Yes, we did.
And I love the fact that we actually get together, on Sundays and just sit down and talk and be together and catch up on how all of us are doing, the stuff that we're excited about, to give each other praise and shout outs, for all of the stuff that we got going on and the things that we've done, all of that stuff. Like, I love the fact that we as a family get joy out of sitting down together and just sharing what we're going through, what we're growing through, what we're excited about, and just having that time to be a part of each other's lives.
Yeah.
And like seeing how much like baby girl appreciates it and how she gets excited about it. Like, and it's one thing for it to be coming from us, but to know that our child values it also.
Yes.
It goes to show, like how important that intentional time together actually is to our family dynamic. Absolutely. And seeing the impact that it makes on her to the point to where she actually likes it and desires it. And I think that's so dope.
Yeah, I think we had stopped doing it a while back because we just had a lot going on like months ago. And then she brought up the fact that like we haven't had a family meeting in a long time. I'm like, first of all, I didn't even realize you really cared. But I think it's so dope that it's certain things that you instill in your children that you don't even realize you're instilling it into them. Like intentional family time is a value in a sense. Like it's very important to us. And for her to turn around and be like, now it's important to me, so now I'm calling y'all out. Like, why we having no family meetings? So I think that's actually really dope.
Yeah. And I think that the fact that we decided to implement doing that, God knows however long ago.
Yeah.
I think it's so dope that we decided to implement that, even though I think during the time when we were doing it, it's because so much was happening at one time and we needed to like be able to like slow stuff down and get us all on the same page. And I think life was a little bit chaotic at the time.
It was.
But it ended up being something that was so like vital and valuable to our family and our household, even when things got way more under control. And now it's something that we actually enjoy.
Yeah.
And it's not like, oh, this is just how we keep everything together. It's like, no, we actually like this time together. Even if it's only, 30 minutes or so, it's time that we actually enjoy being together and just knowing what's going on in each other's world.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's so easy for things to get slide through the cracks. Like when you're in your day-to-day hustle, you know what I'm saying? You got everything that's going on with you. I got everything that's going on with me. And then baby has her own life too. So it's like so much stuff can be missed in the doing of life. So to actually sit down and talk about like, okay, well, what happened this week? What's going on with you? Like, were there any challenges that you needed help with? Was there any way that can we show up for you better? Like, it's just so much that can slip through the cracks, and it's so many ways that we can actually improve. And I think it's dope that we come to each other and ask where we can improve on. Like, I kind of took that left, but I think that's so dope. It's like, how can we show up for our baby, the way we need to for her, because she's ultimately like she's changing everything. She's about to be a sophomore. Literally. So how we showed up for her freshman year is going to look different than how we show up for her sophomore year. You know what I'm saying? And then even me asking you, like, how can I show up for you better? And, vice versa. I think that's so dope, because I think it's important for everybody in our household to know how important our relationships are in general. Like, your relationship with baby is important. My relationship with baby is important. Like, our relationship is important. Her seeing how important our relationship is. Like, it's so many like layers to that. And I think it's really dope that we make sure we emphasize how important our relationships are. And it should be put on a pedestal.
I highly agree with that. And I think what was super dope, even like today, we had our meeting and then open it up, with gratitude and putting everybody in this light to where we want you to know that we see the dope things that you've done throughout the week, or being able to just voice things that we appreciate or whatever the case may be, and just starting it out that way. And like, so today when we started our meeting, I wanted to be able to highlight the baby that it's hard for us to be able to tell you no when you've been on top of your stuff. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to vocalize and like let her know, like, hey, you know what? Like, we've seen you. Mm-hmm. We've seen, you know, how well you're handling school and your character and how you're managing yourself or whatever. Like, we see all of these different things, and letting her know that it's not being overlooked. Mm-hmm. And so having that dedicated time in those meetings and just coming together and being like, hey, I want to acknowledge you and let you know how much I love this about you. Mm-hmm. I noticed this week, because truth be told, like even one of the things that I was, you know, giving her a little shout out for, whatever the case, I wanted to tell her earlier in the week, but I had forgotten because I was driving at the time. You was doing something or whatever. Life was lifing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But it didn't leave me. And I figured like right in that moment, it was like, hey, let me go back and let you know, I noticed this week. You did this or whatever. I'm proud of you for this. Like, good job on doing this thing or whatever. And like, I just want you to know, like, you doing the thing. Mm-hmm. And your mom and I see you. Mm-hmm. And I think it's so important to be able to have those moments to let them know that we value some of the great things that you're doing, and being able to introduce a space to where you could talk about your challenges or things where we need to improve or whatever the case may be. And knowing that there's a space to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. And then having a type of relationship to where you can just walk downstairs or come see us and be like, hey, this has been on me. I need to go ahead and share this with y'all. Mm-hmm. But I feel like a lot of that came from not just us having the family meetings, but the relationships that we've built around being able to communicate and handle certain things. Mm-hmm. And the family meeting itself just opens up another opportunity to be able to expand that. Mm-hmm. And it's just, we've literally been able to watch a crazy change in our family, in our household dynamic, how baby girl communicates with us, and just how we function as a whole. We've been able to see it just transform over time. And it's so valuable.
Yeah, I think like, since family is such a high value for us, I think it's important for us to live that. Mm-hmm. So making sure we are setting a time, intentional family time, for us to just talk to each other, and for us to also set aside time to have fun with each other. Yeah. To make new experiences with each other, to create, you know, memories with each other. Like, we finna go to the freaking Bryson Tiller concert, you know, in a week or so, because baby wants to go. And I'm like, okay, we're going to a concert as a family. Like, this is about to be crazy. So that's like a dope memory we're about to create with each other. And I think like it's so important to make sure you're building relationships with your family, with your kids. Mm-hmm. So like when they get older, they can still want to have that relationship with you. Yeah. You know, instead of them trying to get away from you. Like, my relationship with baby girl is so important. Like, y'all's relationship is so important to me.
You know what's wild is, so when I was doing all of the interviews with the husbands and I was talking to them, you know, really just kind of getting a peek into their worlds, mm-hmm. I realized, man, that there was so many of them out here who they think that just being around is the same thing as I spend time with them, mm-hmm. or I'm present, mm-hmm. or this is me doing what I'm supposed to do, just being around, and not realizing that there's a complete difference between being around, taking up space, and being active and engaged and using the activities or whatever's going on as a means to communicate, mm-hmm. and to create a bridge between yourself and your child to be able to grow closer together, mm-hmm. to where it's not just the activity. We use the activity as a means to grow closer. Absolutely. For me to be able to have a space to where I can learn more about, you know, your child or whatever the case may be. You can be able to create that space to where you can truly like bond and get to know one another, mm-hmm. and get to know them beyond the activity itself. Yeah. It's just, this is a means to a bigger objective that we got here. Right. And so I was talking, you know, to some of them. They was like, yeah, you know, I take them to the games and all this stuff and pick them up and do all the other stuff. You know, I'm around doing this, and I'm like, okay, that's dope. You know, have you talked to your kid, you know, at this age, Have you talked to them about XYZ? Like, do you know what they like right here, what they aspirations are over here, or all of these other like little things or whatever? Mm-hmm. Like, what do they like to do when it comes to whatever the hell? I don't know some of the stuff I was asking, but just remembering like that it's not just about, oh, I do these things for them. No, I'm doing certain things with them and I'm involved in that activity. Mm-hmm. And I don't just depend on the activity itself. I use that as a means, again, to be able to grow closer and to go beyond the activity. Mm-hmm. So now it's not just about, oh, I take you to basketball or practice or whatever it is that, that you do. Mm-hmm. I'm using this that way you feel comfortable bringing me into your everyday life and what you have going on. And for you to be able to realize that, hey, you can come to me for anything. Yes. We could talk about anything. Absolutely. We can connect and bond and just enjoy being in each other's company, regardless of the circumstances, even if it's not around a certain activity, just to talk. Mm-hmm. Like, man, me and baby girl, we rode somewhere looking for something for you one day. And we just rode in the car, no music, just talking the whole time, just kicking it, laughing, joking, cracking jokes, and just having a good time. And I'm like, bruh, I'm literally sitting in the car, just riding around. She telling me all the little school stuff or whatever. And I'm like, bruh, she actually tells me what's going on in her world. Mm-hmm. She tells me what's going on, through the lenses of seeing things that impact, her friends and how she perceives those things. Mm-hmm. She's telling me about, her thoughts of the future, whatever. We cracking jokes on whatever it is.
Probably me.
No, not on you, baby. But like, just realizing that we got that type of bond. And I'm like, bro, I'm sitting up here with my whole teenager. Mm-hmm. And we can vibe like this.
Yes.
And I was just like, bro, this is dope.
It is.
And realizing that moment didn't come from what's happening right now. Mm-hmm. That moment came from everything that came before right now. Mm-hmm. And yeah, man, I value that so much, realizing that intentional time together like matters. And again, intentional time, meaning that you're having whatever that experience is, that moment, on purpose, with a purpose, and you're actively engaged and present in that moment. Mm-hmm. So,
right.
Yeah, let's be very on purpose about how we describe what that is.
Absolutely.
Rather than just taking up space.
Absolutely.
So, and I appreciate you for that, because, you've helped me navigate a lot of that, and also have made it very apparent to me how important, that stuff is. And knowing it, but not knowing it at the level that you've been able to explain it to me, especially coming from a point where it's like, hey, you're a daughter really needs to have that connection with the dad.
Listen, that is very important. That is very important to me. Her having that connection with you, and her having certain conversations with her father about life. Mm. You should be the most influential man in her life. Period. And it was very important to me that I emphasized that to you heavily. Mm-hmm. And so when we did initially have the conversation, years back at this point, I'm glad you you received it well and you understood where I was coming from because of my own childhood.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely grateful for that. And you're a dope ass dude. Like,
thank you, baby.
Like she needs to be poured into by you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I definitely try to make it a point, to do that.
You do, absolutely.
I do try to make it a point.
You don't try. You do. There's no trying. You do. You either do or you don't, and you actually do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Please do.
I'll take that.
You should get all the accolades for that, man. You're an amazing father. Amazing father.
Thank you. I'm glad that I get to have this experience and that I get to enjoy, all that comes with it. Mm-hmm. Even though it has had its difficulties. We know that.
Yeah, that's
But of course, that's life.
It is what it is. Yeah.
That's life.
Yeah.
But I definitely wouldn't have it any other way, especially, knowing the fact that I didn't grow up with any role models in that regard or dad or nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
And just knowing that some of the things that I have been able to learn along the way have been beneficial to our family.
Mm-hmm.
Be it from us having the family meetings, us connecting and just learning how important certain things are.
Mm-hmm.
Also being very intentional about keeping the word that you give to your kids and letting them know whatever, because like they keep record of these things for real. They remember.
Do. Yeah.
And just showing up on purpose, you know what I mean? And just trying to be the best to dad, husband, man that I could be for my family. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I get to experience all of this with the amazing ladies that I get to love on and serve.
I'm grateful for you too.
Thank you, boo. Other than that, though, my love, how are you?
I'm good.
No, like how are you? How are you? Like in essence of everything that we spoke about up to this point, like how are you coming from a mom, wife standpoint or whatever? Like just seeing like how we've grown and developed, like as a family. Like how are you feeling about what we've done up to this point?
Oh, I feel proud.
Yeah.
I feel so proud, so grateful, so joyful for what we've created together, because like you said before, we didn't have no roadmap. We didn't have any guidance. We didn't know what we were doing. And we just took it. We took on every challenge the best that we could. And we just showed up for each other and did everything that we thought was best.
Yeah.
And we were okay. And we have been, I keep saying we were, but we have been so okay. We was talking about this in the car earlier.
Yeah.
But we have been okay with just figuring it out along the way. Like, okay, trial and error, that's fine. But at least we're trying. At least we're trying to do better. We're trying to show up the best way that we can. And I feel like our strides forward have been crazy amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the relationship that we have, like our family dynamic, is something that I never dreamed that I could like help create. So it's beautiful to see my efforts in this thing when I didn't even think that I would be a great mom and I didn't think I would be a great wife. So to see that it's like I've built this. Like, I mean, we built it, obviously.
Of course.
But like, I'm doing this shit. I mean, I'm doing this thing.
Yeah. You're doing this thing.
I'm doing this thing. So it's just dope. I feel like there's moments where it's really surreal to me, like for me to look at you and like, dang, I'm really showing up for my husband the way that he needs it. And he tells me this, he reassures me of this. I'm showing up for my baby girl the way that she needs, and she reassures me. Like it's one thing to think you're dope and think you're doing a good job because you just feel this way, but it's another thing to receive the accolades, to receive the reassurance, the affirmations from the people who you are trying to be influential over, who you're trying to positively impact.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that I am doing what I've set out to do. And I'm going to continue to do that. I want to continue to be better. Y'all always tell me like, oh, baby be like, you're a great mom. And you be like, you're a great wife. Okay, I can still be better. I can still be better. So I'm just grateful for that mindset to still want to show up for you, y'all, the best way, in the best way that I can.
I feel that, baby.
I hope I didn't like talk in circles.
No, you didn't. It was perfect.
Okay.
And I'm definitely going to be the one to tell you, like, we're grateful for everything that you do. And none of that goes unseen. Like, I'm so, so grateful for the wife you've been to me, for the mom that you've been to baby girl. And I know for a fact that I would not be nearly what I am today without you. And you are, in all honesty, the best thing to ever happen to me. And I'm so grateful that I get to do life with you. And the fact that we get to share this life and serve one another and love on one another the way that we do. And knowing that we still have the heart to continue to strive to get better. And even in our doing well and taking care of one another, just realizing that we never get complacent or content in those moments, and we still have the desire to do more and to serve better and take care of ourselves, and in doing so, take care of what we have together. And I'm so glad that I get to share a freaking life experience with somebody like that who makes me want to be more, who also serves me the way that I need it, who I can serve the way that you need it. And we just get to have this exchange that just literally like overflows love and joy in the both of our lives. And I'm just glad that we get to experience that together. And it's something I don't take for granted.
You're so sweet. That's actually really, really beautiful. And I appreciate all your words. And luckily for me, you don't just say stuff like this on camera. So like you tell me this literally often. So I appreciate that. Because, you know, like some people, are you doing it for the camera? Nah, I get this all the time.
I'm real life grateful for you, man. Like I
know.
Cause like it's like as I'm speaking to you, I just get to play back all of the seemingly small things that you've done in our household and that you've done for me and that I've got to experience in a real way. And I'm just like, bro, my wife is my everything. Like this woman, she really is about, it's like you said, not doing it for the camera. It's like she's actually about the stuff that she's saying. Like I actually get to live through that on a day-to-day basis. And again, man, you know, we 10 years in, coming up on 11, happy as ever. It's still hard for some people to believe that we don't argue. A lot of our relationship isn't common or it's not typical. And a lot of people, you know, they can't make sense of it. I'm like, well, you know, because our relationship is our own. But I'm like, bro, I real life get to live this with somebody who genuinely brings me like maximum joy. And I don't have to fake that.
Right.
And yeah, bro, my wife really is that chick. Like, bro, she's all of that in real life.
Thank you.
And I'm grateful. Like, yeah, I'm just grateful.
I appreciate you.
And I want you to know, man, that you are a freaking Wonder Woman. For real, for real. Like, you that chick. and me and baby, like, we see you, we value you, we appreciate you, and never want you to ever feel like we take that for granted. Real talk.
I appreciate that, baby.
You're welcome.
I don't know how this conversation went this way, but it was really beautiful.
I'm not actually sure either.
And I'm grateful for that. Something I was gonna say is, I feel like our marriage accelerated both of our personal growth journeys.
That's facts.
Like I feel like I still would have been trying to figure things out if I didn't have you.
Same here.
And I'm grateful for, I know, like we was talking in the car earlier and I was telling you, like, a lot of our relationship it just doesn't make sense. Like, so you cannot tell me that God didn't like ordain this because it just doesn't make logical sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm grateful for what we have. And I know it's not common, but who gives a crap? You know, like I'm grateful for it not making sense, but it's working effectively for us.
Yeah.
You know, I don't feel like I need to understand everything, the whys and the hows behind how we've come to this point, but I'm just grateful for it.
That's what is real.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need the logic. I just know God is in this. Faith is in this. Consistency, commitment, intentionality, like all of that is in this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm grateful for that. So yeah, I love what we have.
And we only getting better.
We are only getting better. Only.
I love us.
I love us.
You know, and it's weird because, you know, like we do this show, you know, to serve people in the best way that we can. And it would be one thing, you know, to talk to people, like telling them like, hey, this is what you should do, or this is how we handle certain things or whatever. But I think it also gives another level of value when it's like, hey, you get to see this is really how we talk to each other. Like, this is really the stuff that we do on a regular basis. Like, again, it's like being a fly on the wall a lot of the time. It's like, bro, it's real. it's honest, it's transparent, it's everything that's actually going on for us, or us recapping things we've actually lived and grown through.
Yeah.
And sometimes just seeing what that looks like in the moment of us just enjoying us and like having those honest conversations.
Yeah.
And I feel like this was really one of those moments. It was like, hey, you know what? Y'all get to watch, but it's really for us.
Yeah. Facts.
Like, y'all get to watch, but it's really kind of for us. And then, you know, if you can get somebody, I really hope that it blesses your soul.
Bless it.
But yeah, man. The void is going too long.
Yeah. I don't even know how long we've been talking.
But anyway, hey, thank y'all so much, man. Especially if you made it to this point, you know, for checking out the show, the episode. Of course, we value you guys as always, and thank you so much for giving us your time. My name is John Tron. This is my beautiful queen,
Adoria.
We are one dope couple, and until next time, family. Like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on whatever your favorite platforms are, be it podcasting, YouTube, whatever. But until then, family, peace and love.